Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Well, amidst the, I'd say, rather notable XRP price action both today and yesterday, we've got news that Ripple has moved 55 million XRP, which is worth $15.6 million. And again, amidst this massive rally here. And so, actually, given the tremendous change in XRP price, who knows if that number will be reasonably accurate within the next week? I don't know. But I'm gonna talk about that. And to me, it's been amazing, the price action that's coming. And I will say this, and for those of you that have been listening to me, I've been saying for probably over a month that I believe in an alt season. I don't know for sure if this is the beginning of it, and I don't make price predictions, but I was just saying historically, and I said it in my last video, so I'll be brief about it, but I believe that the altcoins aren't done. Humans haven't figured out which coins should and shouldn't be here. There's still a frenzy around this. I mean, sure, some coins got flushed out because of 2018, especially the ones that were scams, but we're just not done here in terms of the price volatility and people just throwing money here and there all willy-nilly. But amidst all of that, I will say I don't make price predictions purely because, well, first of all, I'm not a chart analyst, and so it would be disingenuous even if I did put something out there. But if I put something out there and it were wrong, like, I frankly don't think I have the guts to undergo the scrutiny that would come along with that. That's why I do appreciate the people that are willing to talk about that stuff. But it's neat to see all of this happening. It's a lot of fun to be in this space. So I'm going to be talking about this massive Ripple XRP move in this piece. I also want to cover with you, and I'll save this towards the tail end of the video, but I want to talk about, it's kind of having to do with, in my mind, infrastructure of the entire cryptocurrency asset class, which is of paramount importance for us as XRP holders. And this piece is from CoinDesk titled VanEck SolidX Withdraw Bitcoin ETF Proposal from SEC Review. So I'll be digging into that a little bit as well. Now, before we get going here, if you would please delicately tap that like button. And if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, you done came to the right place. Welcome to the Moon Lambo channel. Let's be friends. Go ahead and subscribe. So let's dig into the first piece about Ripple moving XRP here. Crypto whale watchers are tracking a series of XRP transfers from Ripple. In the last 24 hours, the San Francisco startup has moved a total of 55 million XRP, worth $15.6 million in 3 separate transfers. 2 of the transfers involve Ripple's over-the-counter OTC distribution wallet, which the company uses to sell XRP to crypto exchanges and other institutions. And sure enough, they have a, not many people realize the specifics of this, but they have a registered money, Ripple has a registered money services that was wrong. Edit. So they have a registered money services business that is called XRP2 LLC, and that's what they use for their OTC distribution. And they cite that in their quarterly XRP markets report, typically. Anyway, Ripple first transferred 30 million XRP worth $8.5 million from one of its main XRP wallets to one of its OTC wallets. It then sent 10 million XRP worth $2.8 million from the OTC wallet to a wallet of unknown origin, indicating the company likely sold the batch of XRP to a third party. And here now on the screen you can see a whale alert. You can see 2 whale alerts actually for both transactions that I just cited, the 30 million XRP and the 10 million XRP. All right, the third and final transfer from Ripple also involved an unknown wallet. Ripple sent 15 million XRP worth $4.3 million from one of its main wallets to an unknown wallet. Since the transfer did not come from Ripple's OTC wallet, it's not clear whether this transfer was a sale of XRP or Ripple moving its funds around internally. Ripple owns about 60% of the total supply of XRP, with most of it locked in escrow. And then on the screen here you can see the third whale alert moving 15 million XRP. That's just pocket change right there. That's nothing, right? Anyway, Ripple regularly sells portions of its holdings and says it uses the proceeds to fund its company and invest in companies building on the XRP ledger and blockchain technology at large. You can check out Ripple's Q2 XR sales numbers here, and then there's a link. The price of XRP continues to surge in the last 24 hours, The third largest crypto asset is up 8.16% at 31.37 cents, according to CoinMarketCap at time of writing. But I prefer to check live CoinWatch, because they haven't attempted to manipulate the market as CoinMarketCap did in early 2018 by they stopped listing all the volume on exchanges overseas. Not all exchanges overseas, but what was it? Was it just, maybe it was just the Korean exchanges? Now I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But regardless, they took that out because with XRP specifically, they were just drawing massive volume, and so when you take that out, it just tanked the price of XRP. Oh, that's what it was. I'm sorry. It's because it was selling at a premium. That's what it was. It was overseas for whatever reason. The market was calling for a much higher price, and so when you took that out, then it looked like XRP was tanking, and a lot of people went into panic mode, and so, yay, CoinMarketCap, thanks for doing that and not explaining. If they'd explained ahead of time, or given an option to flip back and forth between the two ways of calculating the price of XRP, maybe that would have been reasonable, but that's not how they handled it. Now, as far as XRP being sold by Ripple, keep in mind that they have a 30-year distribution plan, and I've showed a chart in a fairly recent video that Ripple put out just, I think it was May of 2017. They released this chart showing the degree to which they're going to unload XRP. But understand, and here's the cool part, because this is why like all the people worried about XRP dumb, I'm like, nope. They are tying to that. The amount that they're willing to sell is tied to a percentage of the total volume, because they understand if whatever the quantity of XRP is, that's not what matters. As long as it's just a certain percentage of the volume, there's no way that they can flood the market to a degree that it would substantially impact the price of XRP. Now, true enough, anytime there's a sell, a buy or sell of XRP, it affects the price of XRP. I could sell, 50 XRP. That's still technically an impact, but I'm just saying, even with XRP being sold in millions or tens of millions or hundreds of millions in terms of US dollars over a period of months, it's not enough to tank anything. Consider that the daily volume of XRP, do you realize that it's typically, I didn't look at what it was today, I actually meant to, I'm kind of curious now, but it's typically, even in the lull times, where it's, there's not as much activity over the last month, it's normal to see XRP volume at about $1 billion a day. And so, just whatever XRP is being sold by Ripple, it's like, this is not exactly a problem here. And besides, Ripple has shown that they're very responsible stewards within the XRP ecosystem, and they truly are building out the Internet of Value. And you had a comment from Miguel Viez, and it was, I'll have to paraphrase it, but he's the head of XRP markets at Ripple, and he said, the plan for Ripple is not to get rich off of XRP. Now, true enough, they make money by selling XRP, fine, but that wouldn't be sustainable forever if that were their entire plan. They're building out the Internet of Value, and so they see a bigger picture and find if some XRP funds are used, to sustain that, especially in the early days, well, that's perfectly fine by me. They're building out an ecosystem, but then they'll have all of their technology in place. Of course, they make money by other means, including the software and the maintenance associated with that. Even though it's largely automated, there still is an actual market for all of this. There's a business model to be had. And then they've got their hands in all sorts of other entities that are just throughout the crypto sphere in general, all sorts of other blockchain companies. So it's much bigger than just XRP. What they're doing here, it's much more substantial and much more globally transformative, I would say. All right, now let me hop into the next piece here. This I just found interesting. These are tweets from David Schwartz, that's Ripple CTO and co-creator of the XRP ledger. Now, Green Eggs in Ham on Twitter here wrote, "If anyone invents a Ripple drinking game, the word nascent will definitely trigger a shot." True enough, we hear that, and then he tagged Brad Garlinghouse. So David Schwartz responded to that, and I just kind of got a chuckle out of this. It's all in good fun anyway, but David Schwartz wrote in response to that, "That will definitely go in the Brad Garlinghouse bingo cards I'm making for the next Ripple All Hands. Brad will say, level playing field, or tipping point, and someone will shout, bingo!" Which I just think it's funny. And then somebody named Santosh responded to David Schwartz, "Did your account got hacked?" He mean get hacked, but he wrote, "Did your account got hacked?" And then David Schwartz responded, "Long plane ride, nothing to do, low air pressure, insufficient brain oxygen, no filter, stream of consciousness. So sorry." So there's nothing to apologize for. Like, it was a reasonable comment, and it's all in good fun, obviously. David Schwartz, he just seems like the most genuinely nice dude you could ever come across, so obviously he's just kidding around anyway. But nonetheless, it made me chuckle, so I thought I'd just kind of share it with you. All right, next here, I got this from XRP Crypto Wolf, XRP Crypto Wolf, if you are listening, thank you so much. I appreciate you sending this content directly to my Twitter inbox. You are the man, and know that it is genuinely appreciated, even if I don't literally respond to you on a daily basis with thanks. I'm going to say it right here. You are awesome, and I appreciate the support. So here's a tweet from the article from XRP Crypto Wolf. VanEck SolidX withdraw Bitcoin ETF proposal from SEC review. It's the piece that I cited at the beginning of the video. So let's go ahead and dig into this a little bit, okay? CBOE BZX Exchange withdrew its VanEck/SolidX Bitcoin Exchange Traded Fund ETF proposal on Tuesday. According to a filing dated September 17, a proposed rule change to publicly list shares of the VanEck SolidX Bitcoin Trust was withdrawn on September 13th. A decision on the proposal had already been delayed a number of times, and the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, faced a final deadline of October 18th to determine whether to approve or reject what could have been one of the first Bitcoin ETFs in the country. The news comes just weeks after VanEck and SolidX began offering shares of the trust to qualified institutional buyers, which is entities with at least $100 million in assets owned or invested, under a Rule 144A exemption. In the nearly 3 weeks since first announcing the product, one basket of 4 Bitcoin worth around $40,000 was traded. VanEck appears to have changed near-term plans very recently. In an interview on September 4th, VanEck head of ETF product Ed Lopez told CoinDesk that the company would continue to pursue an exchange-traded product, explaining, quote, we still strongly believe the marketplace and many investors would be better served to have a regulated product out there, and this is just one small step towards that, and right now it happens to be only available to institutions. And then the piece continues. Tuesday's filing marks the second time VanEck and SolidX withdrew the proposed ETF. The companies withdrew the same ETF proposal in January after a prolonged government shutdown threatened to force a rejection. The SEC is still reviewing 2 other Bitcoin ETF proposals. One, filed by Wilshire Phoenix, would include both Bitcoin and U.S. Treasury bonds in the trust and faces an initial deadline at the end of September, while the other, filed by Bitwise Asset Management with NYSE ARCA, will be approved or rejected on October 13th. Bitwise most recently announced that BNY Mellon would act as the transfer agent for its ETF. After this article was published, VanEck Director of Digital Asset Strategies Gaber Gerbex tweeted, we are committed to support Bitcoin and Bitcoin-focused financial innovation. Bringing to market a physical, liquid, and insured ETF remains a top priority. We continue to work closely with regulators and market participants to get one step closer every day. And so why did this happen? We don't know. It's not in here. we don't know. But still, I wanted to report on this because, first of all, it's fascinating and it's significant. But infrastructure is being built out, and I think one of the things that I'm actually most excited about, I know we already have Bitcoin futures, but to me specifically, Bitcoin futures that are physically settled are significant. And I think that's just the first cryptocurrency of many to come that will have physically settled futures contracts. I believe, because XRP has staying power, eventually, I'm just guessing, why would it not happen? XRP should have physically, well, first of all, futures contracts, and then physically settled ones to go along with it. But the reason that's significant, not just the frenzy around the idea of it happening, which we saw that effect when futures contracts were announced for Bitcoin in, I guess it was December of 2017. That mattered, that probably just propelled the frenzy around Bitcoin even further. But the reason that I'm more excited about it, big picture, is it's technically, quite literally, another use case if it's physically settled, because in the case of Bitcoin, Bitcoin must be held. In the case of XRP, XRP must be held. And you know what that will do to supply and demand. And given that there's real use cases out there and businesses need XRP to use it, just think about that. There's less of it out there for the businesses, more speculation going around, and people should and do speculate about all sorts of things. Brad Garlinghouse cited in a recent CNN interview that people speculate about, gold and silver and currencies, traditional currencies all the time, and why shouldn't they be able to do that? Of course, you should be able to do it with cryptocurrencies too, and it's just fine. It's volatile, but that's just, again, because there's this frenzy around this asset class that most people don't remotely have a handle on. And had I not come across XRP, I'd feel like I have almost no handle on the asset class at all, because I can see a real use for it with XRP, but with the other coins, I'm like, why do you need a value? Why do you need a native digital asset attached to this blockchain that has value? You know, to me, in most cases, it doesn't make a damn bit of sense. But there we are. So you can tell me what you think below, though. Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you like my points? Do you not like my points? I like diversity of thought. So whether you disagree or agree, let's be friends anyway. Feel free to comment below. And if not, I really appreciate you watching. I really genuinely appreciate the support. That's it for this video. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!